Some people start to believe in Rudrakshas or in stones, in crystals, so they kind of project their own power. You have to understand that this New Age movements will only lead to disappointment and eventually either to self-disillusionment or to more traps, because there's nothing that is outside of us more powerful than us. Yet everything that we have in the form of crystal or crystalline structure, and I've written about it also extensively in my book, has an ability to retain information. Sugar can retain information, salt can retain information, crystals. Rudrakshas have a different kind of science how they work on our body, but they amplify our energy. Now, they amplify kind of the positive current of energy if they're strong in the proper way and worn in a proper way and empowered also. Now, when you look at any statue, now there are so many masters, supposedly masters nowadays and teachers, who are so powerful, so selfless, and so compassionate. But at the end of the day, they realize that they need to establish new statues for worship, new temples, new something tangible, because they realize that if it's not tangible, it won't bring profit. So at the end of the day, all our spirituality goes down the drain to profit. So now, if you look at any crystal or anything, it's neutral object, but because it has crystalline structure, water is the same, you can charge it. So your own consciousness has to be able to transmit itself into that object, or it's called, in yogic terms, in Sanskrit, it's called prana pratistha. So you empower, you give that object or that statue, whatever that is, that crystal, stone, metal, anything that can retain energy. You give it your own conscious charge through your intent. So now, in order to do that, you yourself have to be of a highly resonant, pure, selfless nature. And why would you do that if you're already pure and selfless and highly resonant? So in this case, you cannot do it if you're not. Now you need to search for someone else who can charge it for you. And when they charge it for you, if they're truly humble, pure, selfless, and resonant, and their light essence is active and maturing, they have that power to charge. But would they rather charge the stone, the crystal, or activate you if they have such power? Would they rather awake you or the stone? Because the stone does not have the fully blown faculty of intelligence. It retains consciousness, but is not active. So if someone is extremely powerful, avatar-like, amazing light being with all the 7, 12, 21, endless amount of bodies awoken, and extremely powerful, with 10 hands, literally and subtly, would that being establish statues, worship stones, if all the statues and stones are transcended in their light essence? Is a question, right? So would these kind of beings establish shrines, temples for self-gratification, when they have realized that the nature of the entire world is transitory? If they were to feel good about others and would wish well others, wouldn't they just, in a very hidden way, just go somewhere and charge a huge crystal and hide it underneath without too much fuss and saying or reporting it to the news that they've done such a great thing for humanity. These are the questions that we as common, underdeveloped, humble people are to ask from those who seem to be superior in their holiness. Because true holiness is not about superiority or inferiority. It's not about self-gratification or spiritual narcissism. It's not about special dressing code, special rituals, special places, special attire, or special way to salute someone. Because if someone is truly realized and realizes that everything is transitory and lives through this transition through their own eternity, they would only value eternity. They would be still, they will be self-content in whichever circumstances they are. They will not be overly blown and controlled by overpouring spiritual creativity. They will be able to transcend that creativity into sadhana, because creativity will become otherwise their master. They will not be the master of creativity. The creativity will become their master, so it will enslave them. The spiritual power, if not understood properly, if not handled properly, will enslave that person within which it arises. So that person will start going around and doing charitable activities, establishing buildings with whichever names, and charging different things without helping others to simply understand who they are by sitting around them or by looking at them. You see, in ancient times, teaching was not some kind of a special establishment. It was like discussion or silence where people were sitting in a circle. No one is supreme, no one is inferior. And just sharing the bliss, sharing the understanding, giving certain insights on different topics through their contemplation and so on. This is the way to teach and learn, where there's no one superior, inferior. Everyone is teaching, everyone is learning. Everyone is sharing, everyone is giving their own glimpse. Now, in Kali Yuga, in the Dark Ages, we establish hierarchy. And all our spirituality is also hierarchical. And that's why spirituality uses the means of the occult in order to establish their power, control, and to reach certain niche in that hierarchy. So that's why the creative energy is misused. The sexual creative energy is misused. Sexuality is not understood in spiritual terms, and spirituality is abused.